We are back. We are excited. Episode 3 of RLabs or everything RLabs Namibia. Ladies, you have to you have to help me with that one. From week to week, we always like, is it everything RLabs Namibia? Is it everything Namibia? But yes, welcome back. And really we have a jam-packed a heart to share with our viewers today. And so, ladies, I don't know how. I just feel like we should be sharing. How are you feeling today? I love the smiles. Anyone can really go first. Renee, would you like to go first?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Good morning, everybody. It's morning today. I feel good. I feel good. We are on the verge of going into spring, so I think our moods are going to get better once the sun comes out. But yeah, I'm always excited for this session. I'm always excited to see the ladies from Namibia. It's so good when we go down memory lane and we see how far we've come and what we've done and really look at the lessons that we've learned. So I'm really looking forward to today. I'm going to tag Uvatera.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you guys. It's actually very nice. It's like I'm in Cape Town every second week and I'm meeting up with a team. So it's a nice feeling to really see you ladies every second week. And the weather here, it's I understand the cold front is to kick in this week, but it's not so cold yet. So I remember yesterday I was out and a bit overdressed because I started sweating. I'm like, when is the cold coming so we can dress to suit the weather? But all in all, I'm also excited about the spring that is going to kick in tomorrow. So I'm really excited. Thank you, ladies, and I'll give to Emily.
Thank you, ladies. And we are back. I just want to welcome back our listeners, our viewers, as we are excited for episode 3. It's spring, it's flowers all over, colors blooming, and we are excited to take you through this journey with us.
I love
Over
it.
to you.
Thank you so much, ladies. I love that everyone is, feeling the start of something new. And Renee, I must say, I absolutely love your background. She was mentioning earlier she's feeling a little unsettled because her background is, a little different. But I love the fact that you know what, you're getting us started. I love it, just for our viewers and our listeners. Renee's lips are pink and her showing pink. Oh, I love the pout. And her background is also pink and blue. Such a girl. But you know what? Let's get right into it. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been sharing some of the experiences within Namibia, as well as specifically our Namibian champions. But these women also, as women, we also had we showcased some of the experiences that the South Africans had within Namibia as well. And so we're about to get right deep into it, some of the training and behind the scenes, the things that we don't really talk about or we don't really show on our social media. But today, right here, right now, we're going to talk about, behind the scenes with RLabs Namibia. And so you can sit back and relax, get some good coffee because it's going to get good right here. Over to you, Renee. Renee is going to just share with us some images, and then I'm immediately going to hand over to the lovely Emily, who's going to kickstart for us today. Over to you, Emmy.
Thank you so much. Well, in our last episode, which was episode 2, we took you through our journey. So my journey of how I joined RLabs, and then also how Vatera joined. So now we want to take you through what happens behind the scenes. So just like a real movie playing, we all see, oh, this movie went so well, but we don't get to see what is really happening behind the scenes. They probably had to shoot a certain episode, a certain act over maybe 40 times to perfect it, but we also just want to give you a round of what happens behind the scenes in the world of training through RLabs, because you all get to see that, okay, RLabs trained over 100 young people. This is so amazing. This went so well, but we all have behind the scenes of what happens. So now let me get right into it. Well, I want to begin with the outreach program. So we have been based in Windhoek, which is the capital city of Namibia. Yeah, so that is where we offer our training from. We were hosted at the Namibia Business Innovation Institute, one of the centers of excellence at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. So we had our office there, but we also noticed that through our training programs, we have been getting a demand from young people or communities that are not able to access our services due to other factors affecting them, such as maybe transport or distance and so on. So we thought, as RLabs, why don't we go to their communities and try and offer these trainings? But I also want to give you a snippet of also what happens. So in our normal setting of offering trainings where we are based, we have a training room, we have a projector, we have laptops. So usually we offer the training by projecting the slides on the big projector, because we have access to all we need. We have internet connection, electricity. But when we move to the informal settlements, so I have a lovely slide here with images of training in the informal settlements. So what we then did, we had to change the approach of how we offer the trainings. So due to language barrier, we also had to do translation. So we also had to find people in our network that could also assist us in speaking different languages. And also ourselves, we also had to speak the languages that will also be comfortable to our community. And then, so what we also did is we printed out the slides and then we pasted them in on big posters, because we will not let electricity stop us from doing what we are always doing, which is making hope contagious in the lives of our people. So then the show must still go on. So that's what we did. We continue offering the training in that sense. And then I also just want to give our champion Uvatera a chance to also just give us her view, because she's our outreach champion throughout. Uvatera.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you. I mean, with COVID now, we have also been taught that the show needs to continue. Nothing can stop us. I mean, it was first electricity. Now we are sitting with COVID, and I feel, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like I'm in Cape Town every second week, meeting up with the ladies. So the show needs to continue, and it's so interesting. Oh, it's so nice that we work for an organization where innovation, you think on your feet. You know, you need to continue working with or without electricity, whatever you, as long as you are alive on your feet, work needs to continue. So during my stay at RLabs working for the outreach program, it was a great learning curve and a great experience, because sometimes you will come so prepared for a lesson that is in English, but when you reach there, the crowd, the community that is hungry to learn, people that are there that are eager, they took their time off to really come grasp something from the training. They do not understand the local language, which is then English. So we had to be innovative, use the at least I have a local, what is this? My mother tongue is one of the local languages. So I had an advantage where I could teach in my mother tongue. And it's also very nice to teach in your own language, because then you even understand the concept better, because you need to understand it for you to be able to translate it. So you get a depth understanding of a particular presentation that you're doing on that day. And it's so nice to really see people really learning, even though the letters are being translated in maybe into 3 different languages, they are still ready to learn and very patient with translation. And the session will sometimes also take longer than planned because of the translation that is then taking up the space. But we still had a lot of fun, and it's good that from the participants, there were a number of them that managed to graduate and really walk away with the skills.
Ladies, I have a question. I'm just going to interject. So, I'm going back to this picture. Um, and of course, when you're in an area and you realize, you know what, I'm so used to presenting with the PowerPoint, with the computer, with electricity, with the aircon in a room, and I need to go, into a different space, and none of those things are there. And especially, having to take your slides, because when you're preparing materials, right, you generally sit at a computer, and you think through the flow, and you think, okay, which slide comes next, and what content, what words do I put on, and what am I going to say, and it's a whole process. I just want to know, like, what do you think there was a defining factor or something that was really different, besides maybe the translation that happened? But if you had to stand in front with a projector and just clicking through the slides versus standing with a page translating, because I'm assuming the content on the page was still in English, right? So you still had to translate that, and the images are now like so small, so people can't really see. Like, do you use words? Do you use objects? Do you use other examples to bring the message and the content across? I'm just really interested to hear, like, what happens in your brains, like what's your thought process while you're standing there?
All right. I think I can go. With that is, I think we also just try to adapt to that different environment that we're in. And so then, when we are also explaining our content to our participants, to the community, we also try and relate in that environment that we're in. So sometimes we also try and use objects that are within that area where we are, so that we can relate to them and so that they can perhaps also understand it better. So, and then I also remember there was a time, because honestly, local language is very difficult when it comes to translating from English to that. There was a time where I had to ask one of the participants that was a bit older. I had to, we speak the same local language, right? So I also had to ask, do you perhaps know what this word means in our language? And I remember he first just laughed and he said, oh, those young people. And then at least he assisted, because I was really struggling with that word. And also with Google Translate, not some words come out the exact way. So yeah, we always just try to also relate to that environment that we're in. So that also helped us. And then also the fact that we also tried, we worked together as a team. And sometimes I would also ask, Vatera sometimes, what is this? What does this mean in your local language? And then maybe that way it also helps me understand it and explain it better. So yes, that's my take.
Okay, just to add on what you just spoke now, when you were speaking, I actually remembered when we were here at Kilimanjaro, we did the events management training, and I remember we did the events closet, like rating, where you host different events, high cluster, low cluster, and medium cluster events. So we actually even had to take examples of like maybe bars or entertainment areas around the area where they can actually also host events, so they could actually then also relate to the different clusters when it comes to events. So it is very interesting to really work with people on the outskirts, and really also putting yourself in their shoes and trying to understand them better also makes them very comfortable to even interact with during the training. Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for that, Renee. You know what I remembered? Namibia, the Namibian team is quite good at having to adjust and adapt their training, right? And I just remembered in the beginning of our shows and during our conversations, um you introduced me to someone that all three of you knew. It was Harry, right? And Harry was visually impaired. And so I would love to know how on earth did you manage, how did you adapt your training, given that Harry was of course visually impaired, and I mean, as you say, the show needs to go on, and you need to be making it contagious. I don't know, and I know, Rena, you also met Harry at some point, and so if any three of you would like to, share with me how you managed to adapt your training. material. So over to any of you.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah, I met Harry on our first our first training. I think I mentioned it. I might have mentioned in the first episode and had a picture of him. So, when you're going to do training and you're not responsible for recruitment, right? Somebody else is. So you trust them and they say we're gonna have so many participants and you share with them the content. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be the deliverables and the outcomes. I mean, it's so many days and so many hours in a day, and you work on a program. Blah, blah, blah. All those things you do, right? So, but nobody told us that when we're going to be teaching social media, we're going to have somebody in our class that's not able to see, right? So, and I'm sure they knew because everybody knows Harry for a long time. And the interesting thing was that, it probably just made it easier because of his personality. And Harry was very straightforward from the beginning, and he said, I might not be able to see, but I have vision. And that for me, like, always just sticks with me. So he wasn't prepared to just give up, right? I'm coming to learn social media and you're going to teach me. Like, there was no like two ways about it. I have to sit in the corner in the class, no, he wanted to be there with everybody at his own computer. And because he had Windows, I mean, thank goodness that now technology is a bit more advanced. I mean, this was a good couple of years ago. It was really hard to teach social media because he's got this program that speaks everything that he's seeing, right? And so, when you do anything online, you need an email address and you need a password. And the password is, we all know what the password is, right? And so when you type it normally, you would just get stars, and Harry's program on his computer was just telling him star, star, star. It wasn't feeding back to him like what the letters of the password were. So even though we created an email address, when he needed to type it and he might have typed the wrong letter, he didn't know it was wrong. And we went through various phases of changing this password so that it was actually easier for him to remember. But the one thing that I realized, that even though technology and of course the internet is so powerful, it's really a powerful tool, it just opens a whole other world. But understanding that everybody's world is different, it still looks different. And so for us that can see, and that's quite normal and avid internet users, and we just know, we just type this and that pops up. So my world might look different to Harry's, as an example. So as much as we feel that the internet is so powerful and it's so, I always say that it's one of it's one of the tools that flattens the playing field for everybody, right? Because you create your world once you get online, the World Wide Web. Once you go in, you decide what it looks like, what it feels like, and all of that. And just being able to adapt that and being able to understand Harry's world a little bit so that he's still able to create his own world. And so, yeah, I mean, I think being able to teach somebody, or to not just teach, I think I learned more. I learned more about adapting, and how do you change things around. But I do believe it really comes from the person. And I'm even just looking, these pictures are so beautiful. I just look at the pictures, that when you're creating an opportunity, an environment of learning for individuals, every situation is different because everybody's world is different. So what people are used to is different for everyone. And as RLabs, how we bring the training across, our delivery, our methodology, all of that can never ever be the same in every instance. It always has to change because we're going into someone else's world. And so regardless of what we're teaching, I think events is probably one of the most fun the most fun trainings uh, to do, and most practical. But anything else that we're teaching, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's project management, whether it's digital media, it doesn't matter what we're training. Just understanding, like, when we're going into these different settings, we're going into someone else's world. Yes, we have an idea of what the content should do, what the deliverables should be, what the outcomes should be. But when you go in, at some point, you are still blind because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And being able to create this with a community and going through the sessions, I think the outcome is always like better than what you expect. I mean, that's just been some of my experiences in the field.